Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Unity Through Diversity. I'm your host, Gina. As if you have listened to our podcast before, this season will be very different from our past seasons. This season will be the one that I invite the readers from all over the world to tap in our collective energy to give you a what's going on, and those questions are come very intuitively through me as well to. We can address certain situation, and we want to provide some guidance. So this is a special series. We're probably going to record 6 to 8 episodes in the next couple weeks. So hope you like those readings and give us feedback. Okay. So now today, this morning, I having a beautiful soul from Canada. Actually, we are very close to each other. Adriana, is that how you say your name?
Yeah, it's Adrienne.
Adrienne. Great,
Yes.
perfect. So welcome. Will you kind
Thank
of,
you.
say hi to our audience and tell us a
Of
little bit
course.
about yourself? And because mainly we are do the live reading, but when I see your bio, you're also a life coach.
Of
So
course.
just give us a little bit overview of who you are, and let's start from there.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes.
So I'm Adrienne Amari. I'm a tarot reader, a tarot teacher, a clarity coach, and I'm just getting into past life regression therapy as well. But for me, tarot is the one thing I always go back to. I very much stick with nothing. I like to try everything, stick with nothing. But tarot, I can't get away from it. So it's very much my big love. I think there's so much information, so much we can learn from the tarot. And I really approach the cards as more like a mirror for us to understand ourselves, to gain clarity, to seek answers. Sometimes it asks more questions than it gives answers, but sometimes we're at a place where we need that as well. So,
Yeah. Have you ever had a feeling is like because I have so many cards in my the other room, and
mhm.
when I start drawing the similar cards, I know that's a stop because like, hey,
Same.
Gina, that's no more other thing. Even with my clients, if I draw
Yeah.
another like a card similar to other one, I was like, okay, this is a clear sign, not say stop, but you will not get
Yeah.
more information. This is the information you need to integrate, or this is right here. You're not trying to go
Yeah.
to see the information there, but they're like, you need to go through here. Is that things with you too?
Totally. Yeah, like it's like sometimes you have to unlock the door before you're allowed to go through it and into something else. And it's like the same messages will keep coming up. And if you keep asking, it'll either keep showing the same card or
Yeah.
it'll show the similar message through different cards or combinations. But 100%.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
happens all the time. It's just like, just do it. Like, stop asking. Let's go.
Yeah. So, okay, tell us a little bit your journey. Like, what made you start with tarot cards, and what made you like say you try different things, don't stick anything, but tarot seems the one stick with you because I started with oracle cards. I
Mhm.
actually didn't start tarot cards until 3 years ago.
Okay.
Because tarot cards, you got first of all you got to remember for me, okay, my
Yes.
perspective is you actually need to understand each card and meaning before you can intuitively like now I understand it now when it came in two of swords in that one I will read it this way in this one for whatever reason they will tell me to read it this way but if you
Yes.
don't understand two of swords at a get go it's not going to go anywhere. First
Yeah.
oracle cards you don't have to understand that you literally just look at that picture
Yeah.
intuitively come through you. So that's why I was like but it took me a couple years to later I was like I think I'm ready. So yeah, that's my journey.
And
But
that's,
what made you get into the tarot cards and
yeah.
yeah.
And I think your journey is very fair. I think a lot of people, it's similar, right? Where it's like tarot has a system, and that's why I love it. I love the system and I love the structure. And I love both like the science part of spirituality and like the woo spiritual part. So for me, tarot, I think clicks and makes sense mostly because of that.
Yeah.
I actually first learned about tarot from my father when I was in grade six. I didn't start in grade six because I pulled the devil card and I got scared. So I ran away at that age. But about 10 or 11 years ago, I had returned from living in Japan. I had lived there for 5 years and then I came back to Canada
Yeah.
and I felt so lost. Like I
Mm.
didn't really know who I was anymore. I had felt like I lived a completely different life in Japan on my own in a foreign country. And then I come back here and it's like everyone I knew kind of had moved on with their life, but I felt very stuck. And that's really when I got into tarot. I saw somebody actually doing it on a forum that I was part of. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I always kind of knew what it was because my dad had introduced it to me years and years ago. And I had
Yeah.
seen it over the years. But it was when I was like kind of trying to figure out myself is when I really turned to it. And it gave me something to focus on, something new to learn, something to invest my energy into. And then it just taught me and showed me so much. And it's a journey that you never stop learning on. And that's why I love it so much.
Okay, funny question. Now you understand what tarot means. So did you go back think of why I draw devil cards at that time? Did you like have you ever thought about that?
um,
Because I'm like, when you talk about that, I'm in my mind, I'm thinking also, okay, devil card. When you draw that, you ran away. Like there is the meaning there. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't know how to
yeah.
interpret it, but that time the devil card shows for a reason. So I was like, did you ever go back to think about why I got that devil card that time?
Well, it's actually funny because when I was a kid, I loved horror movies. Like I love scary stuff. I love
Uh-huh.
the morbid stuff. And my friend and I had recently watched The Exorcist, and I went down this hole where I thought that I was going to be um, possessed by the devil because I was reading all these different stories. And then I pulled that card, and I think that's why it scared me so much. Because, like, oh my God, it's a sign I'm going to be possessed.
Yeah.
So I really think that's what made me run away at that point in time. But I mean, the devil is about feeling stuck and feeling trapped. I was a very shy kid. I do know
Mm.
I said no to a lot of things that I probably wanted to do because I was scared. So it definitely relates to that aspect as well.
And also, I mean, now you also teach tarot. I don't know whether there is a age limit. I think that certain age of the kids you're not supposed to give a reading to. And not you can, but for a lot of the teaching that I learned, even for energy reading, for akashic reading, you normally we don't read the kids under 18. It's because their past is not set. So and also their awareness of understanding of a world is not formed. So a lot of things, let's say that devil card definitely freak you out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think no kids are probably not gonna like all the kids are probably gonna be so afraid of like tower cards, death card, are those things. It's something. It's like what do you mean, right? That's why maybe the reason that we don't give those readings to young, children. And matter of fact,
Children,
you
yeah.
put it because you're young. So I feel like that's like, hey, are you ready for that? I think, as devil card is also fear and other things in there, right? Anything about
Totally.
anything just make you afraid of, think that's a devil. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. Great. Yeah. Okay. So now, what's your process? Do you need a like a lighting sense? What are some process you would get ready for? If not just reading with the collective, like if the clients come to you, do you need to do a little bit of protection with yourself? Those are things that are very important, right?
Yeah. So for me, I'm pretty easygoing. I just really go with what's in the moment and what feels right to
Mm.
me. I find that, like, for me, having too much ritual actually makes me not want to do things because I don't like feeling boxed into stuff. So,
Okay.
well, and I feel like tarot or any type of divination or practice, it should be something that you enjoy. And if you're
Yeah.
having to go through steps that you feel that you're
Mm.
forcing yourself to do it, it's not worth doing it because you're not connecting to the energy you need to connect to.
Cool.
Um,
That's
so I
great.
mean, yeah, like I have crystals and stuff around me, but I did bring my favorite deck. It's like my security blanket.
Oh, okay. You prepared. I
Yeah,
love it. I love you
I
prepared.
did.
Yes. And then one more question before we go in. For people who are just started with tarot cards or want to learn tarot cards, what are some advice you will have for them? Because I bet
Yeah.
I mean, these days you were surprised how many like my clients, even they come to me for the reading or the healing sessions, they have a couple decks of already there
Yeah.
because they have it, but it's now, for them to really connect and learn it. I think that's a process. So as a tarot teacher, been doing tarot for over 11 years. So do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, just start. Like, stop getting so hung up that you have to be perfect or get all
Mm,
the answers right the first time. You're human.
yeah.
It's not going to be perfect all the time. And even now, I have readings and I'm like, oh, that wasn't maybe my best day because it happens, right? Maybe
Yeah.
the energy wasn't a good match or it just was an off day. But I would say don't be scared of starting because I think a lot of people look at tarot and they think, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming. Oh, I have to memorize all this stuff. And yes, I 100% believe that you need to know the structure and the
Yeah.
groundwork. But if you don't start, you'll never get there.
Fair. Fair
Right?
enough.
Like, Yeah, and there's so many resources now, especially nowadays, available when it comes to learning tarot. And I think one of the easiest things to do is just pull a card a day, look at it, see what it means to you, see how you feel about it. And then, of course, go look it up and see what resonates. But there's so much depth to a tarot card that the first step is really just getting familiar with them.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks for clarification because people probably have those questions. I ask for them. So I'm just tapping into collective, say, hey, what are some questions
Yeah.
you want me to ask? So I'm the
I
I'm the
love it.
channel right here. It's so interesting because I already feeling the energy going to come in because we are doing readings. I'm clicking sentence. So they poke my
Mhm.
body like a different parts that were already. So I'm already feeling it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm doing the reading while you are doing the reading. But since I'm bringing you on, I think we will see how the energy come, so that's why I feel it's so fun is because
Mhm.
you have another perspective to see whether we are on the point of thing. We are reading something because if you read something, people always, I think, hand up on, oh, I didn't read exactly the
Yes.
information she brought up. But the thing is, we realize that like we all, because our energy level is also very different, right? The frequency you
Mhm.
tap in. So it's like you are seeing this cup, but sometimes I'm seeing from this side, sometimes people seeing from bottom part, some top or whatever. So there's
Yeah.
no wrong, but it's actually depends on where's your energy at and how you interpret this message. So if you have some trauma, fear, blocks, then the message actually filters through your filter. It will be maybe the red, like my tea right here, or green,
Mhm.
depends on. So
Yeah.
what we just want to give to people is not do not take what we say as that it is part of a perspective that allow you to think in a different way or see things in a different way, then gaining your own understanding of clarity through those informations, right? So we are not here
Yeah.
to tell people this is exactly what's going on, but this is just what I see, and then that's what you see, right?
Yeah. That's
Okay,
exactly how I see it too. It's like it's
perfect.
curiosity, it's exploration, right?
Exactly. So tell us a little bit like for today's live reading for the collective.
Mhm.
So when
Yeah.
we refer to this collective is mean more of like I would say the general collective of the world of what's going on. So, that might be, specifically if you the card tell you maybe specifically talking about certain country or whatever, just please be clarified because
Mhm.
when people we try to give as clear information as we can, but sometimes I done the readings that oh you are mean that. So it's kind
Yeah.
of a process that just stay be like patient with us, have an open heart and an open mind. So tell us like how many cards you will draw, and do I need to start with questions, or how should we go from here?
I think it might just be fun to start with kind of see what comes up. Like, what's a message
Yes,
the collective needs to hear or know right now?
perfect.
If it's cool to start with that. And I'll
Yeah,
start with
yeah.
by drawing three. I can talk tarot forever. So I know
Yes,
we have
yes.
a
I,
bit of
I
a
think
time limit.
from here, I think I let you take over the stage, and then you're like, if certain questions, say, hey, Gina, what are some questions coming up for you
Yeah.
to represent collective ask? Then I'm gonna go from there. So
Sounds perfect. All right, so I'm
cool.
gonna start with three. We'll draw three just for a general message to see what comes up. And since not everyone can necessarily see this, the deck I am using is called the Prisma Visions Tarot. It's by James R. Eads. It is absolutely gorgeous, and every piece of art he does, I feel like I have to get. So
All right, I'm
he
gonna
just has a
tap into
beautiful
that.
energy to all of his stuff. The Six of Pentacles. We
Mm-hmm.
have the Seven of Cups, the Seven of Chalices reversed, and we have the Hermit coming here at the end. And I feel like even right away, this is all energy that I'm seeing kind of over and over and something that we definitely need to tap into. The Six of Pentacles is a card of community. And I think more than ever, we definitely need this. It's a card of giving and taking, of, giving of yourself, but then not being afraid to ask for help when you need it. And very much that reminder that we're not here alone. Like we're not in it alone. So we need to connect with one another, support one another in whatever way that makes sense. I think people see pentacles and they think, oh, I have to give money. And sure, like if you have abundance that you would like to share in a material way, go for it. But the Six of Pentacles is also about sharing your time and your energy and your expertise in a way that is meaningful to the people in your community or that are around you.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, the six is like you can be on either side of the scale, right? You can be the one that has stuff to give, or you can be the one that needs help and maybe needs a little bit of a helping hand to get yourself pulled up from whatever rut that you're in. So don't be afraid to ask for that and to accept it. Sometimes that's the hardest part is to actually
Yeah.
accept the help when someone's willing to give it to you.
Mhm.
With the Seven of Chalices reversed, I do like this as well because it does show that, like, through community, through helping one another, that's where we're actually able to find a clearer path forward. When the Seven of Cups is upright, it does show a lot of confusion. It shows we have too many options and we don't know which way to go. But when it's reversed, it's kind of getting away from the indecision and just really relying on your intuition, on your gut feeling to be like, this is the path I know I have to take. So let's go down it. And that is further reinforced by the Hermit card there, because the Hermit is that card of introspection. So it does tell us that, yes, we want community. Yes, we want to help others and be part of the world, so to speak. The Hermit is, we also need time for introspection and to disconnect. I think sometimes we get so hung up in being out there, in being part of something, in being involved with something, that we forget to slow down. We forget that we are our own inner guidance. We are our own guiding light. So it's really about giving yourself that time and that energy to connect with yourself in that way,
Mhm.
knowing that, you know, you have the answers that you're seeking. They're down, they might be buried down in there, but you have them. And you need to give yourself the time and the space to actually bring them to the surface so that you can know the best way forward. So that's what we're starting with. And I like
Beautiful.
that it's a mix of like community, but also the need for
Yes.
alone time.
Yeah. When you were,
Sorry, I
you
can't
know,
hear.
like from the community, because I mean, because let's do some clarification for the community, okay? I think people have a needing, always have a needing to feel belonging, feel want to be included. How do you see the world? Is this more coming together or is this more separation? Because depends on how you see it, and
Yeah.
how to guide the people that now is more than ever that you will see your family member, community member, friends, they actually on the different sides of what you believe.
Mhm.
So when we bring the community together, actually community is more complicated than before because when in your peace or loving, everybody just just let things go. But now it's you are from Canada. You obviously know what's going on in the United States, probably from the news, right? So is there something, from, cards, how can a community coming together? I think that's the would be next question if we can clarify, like in the community, how can we honor each other, right? At when you have a different opinion, perspective, and I just want to see what's their
Yeah.
card.
And I love that. And it's interesting too, because the first three cards here, you can see that we didn't have anything of swords, right? And swords are
Exactly.
really our mental thoughts, our perspectives, our beliefs, our communication in the terms of what we're saying and how we say it. And the first card I pulled is a sword. So we'd have the Page of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Empress. So with
Mm.
the Page of Swords, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about being curious. It's about asking questions. It's about being open to different dialogues. It's not saying you have to agree with everyone because let's be real, we're not going to. You are never going to find a community that you agree with every single person. But I think at the same time, with the other two cards coming in, it is very much about being a little bit more gentle about how you are communicating your words, your thoughts, your ideas. The Page of Swords is open. That's the thing. And I think a lot of people right now are just like, well, this is what I believe, and you don't believe that, so you're wrong and I'm right.
Yeah.
Um, and a belief isn't a fact. So it's not about being right or wrong. It's not about proving that your beliefs are the best ones and you know everything and no one knows nothing, no one else knows anything. It's not about that. It's about having open, clear, honest dialogues that aren't based in judgment, that are based in the desire for understanding. And I think also with the knowledge that you might not always understand, and that's also okay, right?
Yes.
And we have to open that door and we have to be ready and prepared and willing to have those conversations and curious enough to have those conversations. With the Page of Pentacles, not Page, Knight of Pentacles, it's the reminder that it'll take time, right? So
Yeah.
those dialogues, those conversations aren't always easy to have. They can be 100% exhausting. So the Knight of Pentacles is very much about taking it one step, one day at a time. We're not trying to solve everything overnight. That's not the goal here. The goal first is to open the dialogue, to have those conversations, to see if you can understand the other side and hopefully allow them to do the same, but take it slow and don't feel like you have to force anything.
Yeah.
The Knight of Pentacles loves stability. They love security. And when we go in
Safe.
and start attacking someone's beliefs, they're losing that sense of security. And that's where I think a lot of the divisiveness and a lot of the combativeness comes from. So I think that openness of the page can kind of mitigate some of that feeling of, oh, you're trying to like pull the rug from underneath me sort of feeling.
Yeah.
And with the Empress on the end, love her as well. The Empress very much is about giving into that nurturing energy. So again, it's about the curiosity. It's about the desire to understand. It's about the desire to have something grow from this in a beautiful way, not in a way where we're trying to fight or to, again, prove something, right? The Empress, she loves nature, she loves harmony, she loves beauty, she loves to nurture herself and others. And I think it's also the reminder, especially because we had the Hermit in the last set of cards, that when it becomes too much, when you can't do it anymore, it's okay to take a step back. I think a lot of people are like, well, I have to keep pushing and I have to keep fighting because if I give up or if I stop, things are going to go backwards. And you can't keep pushing without taking a break. And the
Hmm.
Empress is the reminder to nurture yourself before you continue on, because it's through that introspection with the Hermit, it's through nurturing ourselves that we become more open, more communicative, more honest, more loving.
Yeah.
Uh, what we need a lot of right now is some love. So
Yeah, yeah. When you do the reading, I do some notes here. Like when I think it's that's why I say that we always see that on the other side because those tough conversations is very uncomfortable because we are humans are not beautiful. Not many people. Actually, I was going through another training right now. Is like the teachers like going through is like ask us how comfortable you're dealing with conflict. Both me and the other girl, we choose three is because it was like, well, it's like I don't feel comfortable, but I will do it. But like nobody will say, "Hey, I love conflict. Let me just dive right in." You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna because that if conflict happens, you cannot just turn away because it's always there. So you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like on the other side, I can see this as an opportunity for people to face those uncomfortable situation. But like you said, as Knight of Pentacle is also plant seed, right? You don't have to just be an expert of doing that, but take your time, right? Ask more questions. And then, with Hermit, I do feel like, Hermit, it doesn't have, he or she does, has a lot of wisdom within. So, and a lot of the answer is within ourselves. So when maybe that's also, I see it as a healing journey actually, because you will not know what you really have if you externally, you don't have the triggers. Right.
yes.
When you have an open conversation with people talking about your belief, my belief, now let's get real. And you're like, okay, actually, I don't like what he or she said, or something triggered me. Then you, with intro perspective with Hermit, you probably could have some healing being done, right? So, what is the second card again for the first card? For the first
It was the Page of Swords. So again, that curiosity, right? Um, the Knight of Pentacles and the Empress.
nine penny. Oh, what was the first? What was the first middle card from the top
The
three?
Seven of Chalice is reversed.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So the seven cup, right? So seven cup of a reverse. Can you talk about a little bit seven cup of there because seven cup there's a lot of I do see because I think it's a journey of from start those conversation and because seven cup if like you said if it goes this way it's kind of like a temptation or whatever thing. I think that people are navigating through those people getting stronger. They're not gonna easy to pour into this anymore. I feel like that's the hermit is kind of because we are more aware of what we truly are. We're not gonna easy to be just people pleasing, right? Say hey yeah well things like that. um so
Like a little more justified in your actions in a way. Because like
exactly.
when the seven is upright, that's when
Yeah.
we're confused because there's so many options, there's so many things being presented to us and spewed at us, and someone's saying this and someone's saying that, and we get confused because there's just too much information coming at us. But when it's reversed, it's like the closing off of that. And maybe
Mm,
that even comes down to like closing the door sometimes. Like even
yes.
media, it can be so overwhelming because either you're in an echo chamber or you're just presented with so much information that you can't muddle through it. And I think that's maybe where the Seven of Chalices is like, no, you choose your path, You trust yourself to choose the path that you need to be on. Like you listen to that intuition. You don't listen to all the other things that are coming at you. You listen to you. And then that hermit just very much like amplifies that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you pull another one or two cards from the Hermit for people to anchor their energy? I think it's so far I can see the full story of it very beautiful, for people to navigate, have open conversation, closing some doors, be aware of what are some things you put into now, you choose probably not to, and back to yourself, right? So I think I want to end up with some positive things with personal level. How can be they stay in their own lane, but also allow other people to drive past them?
Yeah. And I love that question. I love that as well. And I love the cards that came up. So we have the Knight of Chalices and we have the Lovers. So
Hmm.
I love this too because, we are talking about beliefs and thoughts and conversations, but we're ending up with cards that really are about the emotional part of it. And I think part of the issue in today's world is that people are so emotionally tied to their opinions and their beliefs that it's an attack when you don't think the same thing, even though it's maybe not intended that way, but
Mm-mm.
it's because the
Yeah.
emotions are so wrapped up in it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, with the Knight of Chalices, it is about the freedom of emotion. He is the knight who wants to love love. Like he just wants to enjoy himself. He wants to be happy. And I think at our core, that's what we want. Like humans want to be happy. We don't want to be miserable. We don't want to be fighting and in conflict all the time.
Hmm.
And with that Knight of Chalices, it's like if you're going within, first and foremost, surround yourself with people who make you happy. And I'm not saying don't have opposing views, but I am saying it is important to conduct yourself in a way where you are attracting more of the things that you enjoy and that fulfill you into your life.
Yeah.
The Knight of Chalices is all about feelings. So going through those feelings, not locking the feelings away. You have to let them flow. You have to let them go through you. The knight maybe isn't the best at controlling them yet, but he'll get there because he wants to be the king eventually, right?
Yes.
Uh, so he will get better at facing and dealing with those difficult feelings, but you can never get better if you don't do it to start. And
Beautiful.
sometimes that comes from, okay, well, somebody thought different from me and now I feel a certain way. Why do I feel that way? So examining it within yourself, which is very much that hermit introspective energy, right? Trying to understand it a little bit better to help yourself move through it. And the knight too, he's a bit idealistic. So I think it's the reminder to release some of the idealism. Your journey, your story, your beliefs, your feelings, they are not going to be the same as anybody else's. And that's
Exactly.
perfectly fine. Like that's what we want. We don't want to be the same. So very much following that. And with the lovers is the duality of choice.
Mm.
Reminder that you get to choose what energy you allow into your life. You get to choose who you are and what you do with this life. So why not make the choices that are most aligned for what you actually want?
Yes.
The Lovers is about harmony and connection and love and romance. But for me, more than anything, it's about choosing who you want to be and then showing up authentically in that way. And it is also a card of challenging beliefs because it comes after the Hierophant, which is our internalized belief systems that are placed upon us by culture, by family, by society, whatever. And the Lovers is breaking free of that. So really taking the time to examine what you believe, why you actually believe that, and if you actually believe it before
Yeah.
going forward. Because I think sometimes when you get that different perspective on it, it's much easier to accept other people's point of view. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's also for this journey, like now the story is kind of wrap up. It's like when you return yourself, it's like you are in love with yourself.
Yeah.
Like you love yourself a little bit more. Not say you didn't love yourself, but when the conflict happens, when certain things triggered, you going through the healing, you calling another part of you back. And this is the feeling as I can interpret as a Knight of Cups as well. It's like a new very different of these emotions coming up to you that you find that part of you back to yourself as more you are more whole. I think that can be really beautiful too on the other side of reading that. But I love everything you read, that the lover cards and the Knight of Cup. I'm glad I understand a little bit tarot. uh, no, I a little bit, but
It doesn't for sure.
it's just like it's fun, kind of like it have some knowledge, it's like more of a, coming through. It's much easier. But yeah, that's so beautiful. I hope this reading, the collective can, I think it's really beautiful being the community and finding yourself, go through those journey of closing the doors, have some healing journeys, then back to yourself and love yourself more. I think that's kind of probably the conclusion of what we can make. Is there any something that you want to add on, like any message you come through to like wrap up this, any general message to the public by now, like, because you did a reading, it's like, okay, what's on your end, something you want to say
Yeah.
to public?
And like what you were saying too, just like coming back to yourself and loving yourself. And I think loving yourself so that you also have the ability to be more accepting and loving of others. Because if we can love the difficult parts of ourselves, the parts that we hate, those shadow parts, and we all have them, let's not
Yeah.
pretend we don't. If you can love those within yourself, it is much easier to open yourself to loving others and to understanding others. And
Yes.
with that Page of Swords, that one keeps sticking out to me because for me, that's the card that desires to understand. She doesn't understand yet,
Mm-hmm.
but she wants to. And I
Yes.
think the
Mm.
desire to want to is really what we need to move forward with.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really beautiful that you land on this part because the willingness and the wanting to be understand to understand more. I think that's get the things you can change those conflict situation to be a more curiosity to explore. Say, can you tell me a little bit more of why this thing, or do you mind share with you a little bit of what's on my heart? First
Mhm.
from the mind of like so judgment jumping to that things,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
right. And I think in the community right now, like when it's much, everybody is very sensitive now and they choose sides and things like that. And then, of course, nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Literally, every morning you wake up as a breaking
It's
news.
crazy
I
every
mean,
morning.
I was like, I don't have TV at my house, but sometimes I post things on TikTok. There are certain things that surely know what you want to see or what you don't want to see. Breaking
I
news,
agree.
breaking news, breaking news. I'm like, okay, everything's breaking news now. To my system is like, whatever breaking news, I'm not breaking right now. So I guess you still can do the breaking news, right? So that's so really funny. So let me ask you some funny questions to like wrap things up. If you use three words to describe you, what would it be?
Curious?
Yeah, I no
Oh,
doubt
that's
for
my
that one.
favorite word. Oh goodness, that's hard. I got curious down. I would say curious. Oh, maybe understanding or non-judgmental because I'm not here to judge anyone. Like it
Yeah,
really just comes from a place of wanting to understand more.
yeah,
And I hope friendly. Like, I just
yeah. I hope
like
you are.
connecting with people. I want to talk to people. I want to hear their stories. And I want
Yeah.
to see how tarot can help. So
Okay, so the second question is if you could go back time to say something to the 5 years old of Adrienne, right, Adrienne?
yeah.
What you would say to her?
Oh goodness. I would say stop being scared.
Yeah.
Say yeah, and you'll figure it out as you go.
So what is your definition of living a fulfilled life?
First and foremost, disconnecting
Mm.
from social media, from the internet, from all of the stuff coming at you. No, I'm not saying it's bad. I love social media. I love the internet. I love technology, but we do need time to be in the real world. So I
Yes.
think to be fulfilled, we have to be present. And so many people don't want to be present, maybe because they don't want to face things, and I get it, but it's
Yeah.
worth it. It's worth going through the other side. The temporary discomfort that you will feel is worth moving through. So that for sure. And I would say doing things that you love. Like we get to a point in our lives where you're like, well, you're an adult, you can't enjoy that, or you're not supposed to enjoy that, or you shouldn't do that. Who cares? If you're not hurting anyone, if you're not hurting yourself, if it's bringing you pleasure and happiness and joy, do it. It
Yes.
might feel silly, but do it because so many people aren't giving into their happiness because maybe they think they don't deserve it or they think they're being foolish or silly. That's not worth it. Let yourself
Yeah.
be happy. Let yourself enjoy what we're here to enjoy.
Well, it's truly my honor to, have this conversation. That the live reading you did for the collective is so beautiful, and I wish not a wish. I really hope our audience also enjoy it. This, conversation we just had, and let us know whether you like this kind of form. I literally have no idea. Since you are my first guest, I checked that profile. It's like it's a full spectrum of different readers. So I'm very excited. And then I so, happy that you came initiated this reading. I think it's so beautiful, right? And really want to thank you. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. But thank you, Agent, and then for your beautiful wisdom and then the teachings. And I hope to see you soon.
Yes,
Okay.
and thank you so much for having me. I loved chatting with you.
Thank you.